Hello and welcome back to Fashion with Sort Out YouTube channel. I trust we are very well. So in today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to sew combination of lace and Ankara, and of course we are replicating this style. Now these are the fabrics that I need. I have one and a half yards of lace. I have 3 yards of Ankara and my herbal lining. So it's like I said that we are replicating that same style you saw. It's a straight gown, right? In my previous tutorial, I made a video on how to make a perfect pencil skirt, and so I'm just going to be using the same approach to cut the lining. So I've cut the lining out. I'm just going to be placing the lining which I've cut out with the exact measurements on my Ankara fabric, and then I will cut it out. But before I cut it out, to the fabric itself, the Ankara fabric, I'm going to be adding 3 inches extra to the Ankara length. The Ankara will serve as a continuation of our lining, and there's a way it adds beauty to the lining of a dress. If you haven't seen my last tutorial, you have to go back to see it. That is if you don't know how to cut a perfect pencil skirt. So right now I have done that. I'm just going to cut it out. So now to my back. The first one we cut was our front piece. To my back, I'm going to place the lining also like I did to the front and add the extra inches to the length, which is 3 inches, and then I'm going to cut it out just like I did to the front. I'm just going to cut the back into two to differentiate it from the front. Now to our upper body, I have my fabric folded into two, as you can see. The first thing to consider is our chest line. So I'm going to mark it out is 8 inches, and then we'll move to the bust point, which is 11 inches, and then our under bust length. The under bust length is 14 inches, and then the half length is 15 and a half inches, and that's I'll just leave that way. Right now, I'm going to impute the back measurement. The back measurement we are working with is 15 inches divided by 2, that's 7.5, plus half inch sewing allowance, that's 8. So on the arm line, I'm going to come down by half inch, which will serve as our shoulder slant. And then from it, I will find the midpoint of the line and then come out from that midpoint by half inch also. I'll then take my cuff ruler to form the armhole, just as you see me doing it. Then remember that we are cutting the front, as you can see. So I'm going to connect it that way to the half inch that we come out with, and then join it to the shoulder of our armhole, as you can see. So that is for the front armhole. I'm just going to make it more rounded so that we can have that round shape for our armhole. The next thing we are going to do now is mark out our gap. And the gap we are working with for this project is 8 inches. Just like I used to say, 8 divided by 2, that's 4, plus half inch sewing allowance, that's 4.5. So I'm going to mark out the 4.5 from my bust points right there to my half length. Okay, so after this has been done, I'm going to come to my under bust area and come out by 1.5 inch and come in by 1.5 inch also. So I mean on each side, on both sides, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch, and then on my waistline, the half length, I'm going to come in by 1 and come out by 1 also. So now I'm going to make a connect of the 1.5 to 1 inch on the both side, and then take my pattern ruler and make a connect or a cuff connect from the under bust to my bust points. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So it will just go up that way with that curve shape. Same thing I will do to the other side. After this has been done, I'll come up to the armhole side and measure what I have on the armhole. Right here I have 9 inches. From the center point, I'm going to come down by ½ inch and then come up from the center point by 1/2 inch also, as you can see. So next thing I'm going to do is please ignore the chest line that I drew up the line to. Is not necessary. So from the bust point, I'm just going to make a cuff connect to the ½ inch that I went down with, and the other side. So I'm going to make a cuff connect. So I'm trying to tell you that that one is not needful. So now I'm going to make the second connect to the ½ inch up from the center point. I hope I've not confused you with my explanation. So the lower markings, I'm going to extend it in order to form a new armhole. So this extension will be 1 inch, just as you see me doing it. So I'm just going to mark it and then make a fresh connect of armhole. Okay, now we'll proceed to our neck. So for the neck circumference, I'm going to be making use of 3 by 3.5 by 3.5. So I mean 3.5 width and 3.5 depth. So after marking this out, I'm just going to make a connect and then slant from the neck to the shoulder, just as you can see me doing it. So after that, we'll proceed to our body circumference. For my bust, the bust we are working with is 37 inches. So 37 divided by 4, that's 8.5. So I'm going to mark out 8.5 on my chest point, and then the 1 inch extension we had on the new armhole, I'm going to add it to it, and then add 2.5 sewing allowance. I'm making use of 2.5. So what I have there is what I will draw down to the bust point. And then for our underbust, our underbust is 32.5. 32.5, that's 8.25. Then the 3 inches that we are going to cut out from the center, from the gap side, I'm going to add it. So that will give us 11.25, right? So I'm going to mark out 11.25 and then add the extra 2.5 inch for sewing allowance to it. So we'll proceed also to our waist. The waist is 33, that's 8.5. Then I'm just going to add the sewing allowance. So then what I'm going to cut out, the 2 inches I'm going to cut out, and then sewing allowance. So we are done with our front bodies. What I'll do next is pick my scissors and then cut everything out. Yeah, it will be good you follow the way I cut it, as you can see. Okay, so we have the front bodies cut out now. We'll proceed to the back bodies, the upper body of the back, before we cut our Ankara. Now I have the back. So for the back, I'm going to impute our shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 inch. Then I added 1.5 extra for zipper allowance, and then I marked it down to the chest line. I'm going to connect the armhole, just as you can see it. I also want to make use of princess darts for the back. But before I proceed, I will mark my shoulder slant of ½ inch. So after that has been done, I'll go to my chest line and mark 6 inches. And how do I get there 6 inches? That is our gap measurement divided by 2, then plus, that's 4, then plus sewing allowance of ½ inch, that's 4.5, then plus 1.5 zipper allowance. So that is it. I'll then move to my armhole line and then find the midpoint. Then from there I will make a cuff connect to the gap. Do you see it from the bust point? So now to our waist, I will mark ½ inch on both sides of the gap line. Do we get? And then make a connect to the ½ inch on both sides. And that is that. We did that so that we'll get that a nice shape on the back at the zipper. Next to be done is to impute our body circumference. And after that has been done, I will cut it out and then move to the neck. For the neck width now, because the zipper allowance is included, that will be 5 inches by 3.5. I've done that and I've gone ahead to cut my fabric, my Ankara fabric with the lining. So the next thing to be done is to cut our lace. Now to cut the lace, I'm just going to flip my center front open like you see it, and then place the lace on it in a slanted manner. After that has been done, I will then use the center front to cut it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm not sure you are seeing the what I'm cutting right. Okay, so but then it's just to cut the lace with the Ankara, the center from. Okay, we have it. Do you see how it is now? I will pin it down, and then the side also is just one side of the front that has the lace, and you see the way it is. The center have it in a slanted way, and then the other side, why the other side does not have lace. I'll go to the machine now and join everything together. We have it. Do you see how beautiful it is? My back too has been joined. I'll just join the shoulder, and then for the skirt part also. So from where the slant stopped, I will open the front skirt, front part of the skirt, and then place the upper parts like so. And then what I will do now is I would like to go down beyond my hip, like say 5 or 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is mark where I would want the lace fabric to stop. It's just a bit lower than the hip, not up to 5 inches actually. So it's just a bit like 2 inch lower than the hip. Do we get? So that is where the mark out is where the lace will stop at the lower part. So I'm just going to place my lace fabric on the Ankara in a slanted way too, and then make sure that the slant will start from where the upper slant stopped, so that it will give us a straight shape. Okay, so after that, I'm just going to cut it out and then go to my machine, join the lace to the skirt. I will sew on it actually for it to be neat and firm. I will sew on the lace, and then make at the lower part. I will fold it in and then sew on the two sides. I'll connect it to the upper part and come back to show you how it is. Now guys, after the sewing, this is the outcome of our combination. You see how neat and beautiful it is. I've also joined my shoulder, the back to it, the back shoulder to it. All I have to do now is join the bodies, as you can see. So I've also joined the bodies now. Our dress is ready, but we'll move to the sleeve. Remember that the sleeve is a trumpet sleeve, a straight and a flare sleeve. So what I'm doing now is cut the straight part, which I'm using 12 inches length. I also want to confirm if what I have as at the armhole is enough for the sleeve. So I have it enough. I'm just going to add the round measurement to it and then cut it out. Okay guys, so after we cut this out, the next thing we'll consider is the flare part of the sleeve. So I'm cutting the two sides of the flare together. That's why I'm having it that long. I'm just going to fold it and cut it. Guys, if you have not seen my video on how to cut a flare, I will urge that you go back to it. Gradually we are coming to the end of this video. I hope you are gaining value watching this. If you are, please kindly give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and press on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a new video. Unfold like that. The length of the flare is 8.5 inches. I'm just going to mark it round and then cut. Then for the opening, I'm going to mark 2 inches round and then cut. So we have both the flare and the straight and ready, I'll just go to my machine, fix it. Now we have it. You see how beautiful and neat it is. I'll then join it to the body, to the main body of the dress. This is the final look of our combination. Very beautiful and so neat. Guys, thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video. See you in my next tutorial. Thank you very much. Bye.